So the MTA released a proposal and a video about the Interborough Express on the MTA YouTube channel, so let's talk about this. If you've been living under a rock for the past few days, Governor Kathy Hochul visioned with her eyes a new transit connection between Brooklyn and Queens. One day her brain cells were like, hey, why don't we have a good connection between Brooklyn and Queens? Well, we have to go into stupid Manhattan. That's really because the population for Manhattan really increased than Brooklyn and Queens combined. So when they were planning the subway, they mainly focused on trains to go into Manhattan. That's why you see that the G is the only train that doesn't go into Manhattan, and all the others, besides for the shuttles. Currently, if you need to get from Queens to Brooklyn by subway, you have to go into Manhattan, which most routes do, like the N, F, or R trains. Unless you ride the A, G, J, and M, depending on which section of Queens you live in. If you live in the Myrtle section, then you do get into Brooklyn. If you live in the Queens Boulevard section, you do not get into Brooklyn. And Z trains. And part of the L stands with the Brooklyn and Queens border. The point is, there really isn't a fast way to get from Queens to Bay Ridge or Bensonhurst fast. So Kathy Hochul's brain cells were like, envisioning a 14-mile corridor of existing freight tracks. The proposed Interborough Express is to serve Jackson Heights and Bay Ridge, connecting with other neighborhoods like Maspeth, Middle Village, East New York, Midwood, Bensonhurst, and Borough Park, connecting with about 17 subway lines and the Long Island Railroad. Within 40 minutes, you'll make it from Bay Ridge to Jackson Heights. There can be 3 modes of transportation for the Interborough Express. Conventional rail is below street level and runs along with the existing freight track. Similar frequencies with the subway using Long Island Railroad trains, but with more doors and be able to stand unless like the Long Island Railroad and Metro North, where you cannot. Similar frequencies with the subway, and a separate track for passenger service, with an estimate of 45 minutes end-to-end and about 85,000 weekday riders served. There's also light rail, which runs above or along with the freight tracks. Electric trams, which may take a while since the MTA doesn't use trams or anywhere in New York. Street crossings, so we'll have a bunch of railroad crossings, which may take a while, and have street closures in Queens and Brooklyn in the future. 39 minutes end-to-end with an estimate, and about 88,000 weekday riders. Now with the buses, I think it's a pretty bad idea, because we have bus-only road. It runs above or along with the freight tracks. It's separated from the traffic except crossings, and 41 minutes end-to-end, and 74,000 weekday riders estimate. And other MTA buses that are not assigned can use the corridor in between. This brings in a question because we do have electric buses though, but unfortunately we don't know what depot is going to do this. Are we going to make it into a bus route? How is this going to work? The MTA will be using electric vehicles to provide service along the Interborough Express. Currently, the MTA is in their environmental review phase. After that, design will happen and then construction. So we're currently not looking at station design yet. We're still in the environmental review. So how that's going to work is they're going to plan out and see how find out what mode of transportation to use first. Then they're going to figure out where to put the stations, and then after that they're going to construct the stations, which is going to obviously take a little while. In my best estimate, it's probably going to take about, I don't know, like 5 years, possibly. But what do you guys think? Should they use conventional rail, light rail, or buses? I don't think they should use buses because it's too long. I know the Q52 is long, but maybe this is a little bit too long too. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below.